الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا ما بعد. I welcome all of you, my dear daughters and sisters in Islam. Inshallah ta'ala, we continue sharing with you this advices of our noble mashayikh in the like of this topic, التحذير من مخالفات تقع فيها النساء. Continue reading some of the violations and the mistakes that some Muslim women fall into, so that you can, if any one of you is struggling with any of this, do your best. Try to correct yourself so you can be on the right path, doing and saying that which pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if Allah save you, then it's good to know, and so that you, if you see one of the sisters maybe struggling with any of these deficiencies, then nicely and kindly you can advise them, or at the least refer them to these classes, inshallah ta'ala. The last point we mentioned was the some women, they don't pay attention to the tarbiyah of their children. They neglect their children. They don't give them the proper Islamic education and nurturing. And if they don't do that, then those children, they may grow up and start giving them a hard time. As it is the case with some families, once the boys and the girls, they become teenagers, they began to give them a hard time. Now they were like, fear Allah, you're Muslim. But they didn't give them no education. They didn't give them no knowledge. They are surprised now. They tell them, you Muslims and doing this, you Muslims and stealing, you Muslims and smoking, you Muslims and don't pray, you Muslims and don't wear hijab. But they don't know. They just grow up as in Muslims, and because their parents are Muslims, but the parents, they fail to give them the proper education, Islamic education. So the woman play a great role in the upbringing and the cultivation and the education of the children, boys and girls, because she's the first teacher. She's the first one that the children, they observe the way she talk, the way she walk, the way she eat, the way she dress, what she do, what she don't with her time. Children, if the woman is righteous and her life is around obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, children, they will observe that. They will observe. If the mother constantly remembering Allah, that's all what's on her tongue, the remembrance of Allah, the children, they pick up those words as well. We've seen little girls, little boys standing praying next to their mothers. Little girl, she's trying and struggling to put a khimar on, and she stands next to her mother to pray, because that's what her mother is doing. But if the mother is dancing and singing and cursing, then those are children, they're going to grow up doing the same thing. Later on, they are to blame. La. So once again, the Muslim woman have a great role. Ainam has a great role in the education and the upbringing of the children, boys and girls. We're going to continue today, inshallah ta'ala, مخالفات الأفراح والزواج, a section that the ulama, they highlight and they address the mistakes that take place in marriages and in marriage ceremonies. First violation is some women, they don't want to get married. They reach the age of marriage, but then they refuse. Whenever someone righteous come and they says no. What is the reason? They said they want to finish their school. She want to finish her master's or PhD, whatever the case may be. Why? Because she said she wants to secure her future. Some girls, they think like that. They says, look, yes, she wants to get married, no doubt, but she's not getting married right now. When she want to get married? When she finish her studies. When she get her PhD, she get her degree. Why? She said, just in case. Because she has to secure her future. That's how they think. Sheikh bin Baz, the great scholar, rahimahullah, he says the Prophet ﷺ, he forbade that the people don't get married. Rather, he ordered that the people do get married. For those who they say, I'm not going to get married, I'm just going to stay free to myself, I don't want no headaches, nobody bother me, nobody tell me where to go, where not. This is not a good thing for you, Muslim woman. Prophet ﷺ, he forbade those people who they want to stay single and they don't want to get married. Rather, he ordered the youth to get married. Prophet ﷺ says, تزوجوا الودود الولود فإني مكاثر بكم الأمم يوم القيامة. Marry the prolific women that give children, that bear children. For indeed I want that my followers to be the greatest in number on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So the Shaykh rahimahullah, he says, Shaykh bin Baz says, what is legislated for the youth, male and female, to hasten to get married, if they are able to do so. And to be diligent and concerned with that. As the Prophet ﷺ ordered with, and this is his guidance. Shaykh bin Baz says, as for those who choose to stay single, that consists of great danger. It brings a lot of danger with that. Call Idris for me and Abdullah, please. So the Shaykh, he says, it is not befitting for a young person that is able to get married to refrain from doing so. To refrain from doing so or to delay the marriage. You're a young man, able to get married, do so, go ahead. But of course you're going to do it the right way. You got to prepare for it and you got to find the righteous girl. Likewise, it's not befitting for the young girl, the Muslim woman, to delay the marriage and say, no, I don't want to get married right now. I married whenever I want to, or I get married whenever I finish my school and work for a couple of years and makes enough money and have my own place and all that. La. The Shaykh bin Baz says, if, from his fatwa, he says, if the righteous person, the right person come to ask her hand for marriage, all what that young girl should ask her wali, usually her father, is he the right person? Is he righteous in his religion, in his character? If it's the case, yes, because that's the person who's going to help her to stay on the path of Allah. That's the person that's going to help her to stay on the path of Allah. Marriage does not prevent people from finishing and completing their school. Blacks, marriage may actually helps and assist people to get that, inshallah, as long as what they study in is beneficial for them and where they study is permissible as well. That's another topic to itself. No. Another mistake, التساهل في اختيار الزوج. You find some women, subhanAllah, they make this big mistake, which is they just accept any man who come to ask their hands. Some women, subhanAllah, they end up married to a sinner, openly, commit sins openly. A fasiq, that's what it is. Someone who don't even pray, subhanAllah, la hawla wa la quwwata. A woman marrying someone who don't even pray. Why they do that? Because this man has money. Has a lot of money. But he don't pray. Has a lot of money. Smokes. Has a lot of money. Drink alcohol. He has a lot of money. But he's in the dunya. Don't remember Allah. But they choose that man for the money. Or because he's on a high status in the community. Has a bright position. He's a doctor or he's an engineer or has PhD or the like, or come from a wealthy family. They think that happiness is bought by money. Money in most cases be the source of problems. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. Verily, with the remembrance of Allah, the hearts feel at ease. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياة طيبة. Surah An-Nahl. Whoever does righteous actions, whether it be a male or a female, while they are true believers upon sound creed, Allah says such people will give them a pure life. Allahu Akbar, life of serenity and tranquility and peace. Shaykh al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, and he's one of the great scholars as well of our time, he said, when it comes to marriage, the one who's supposed to be chosen is the one who is upright upon the religion. Of course, now the woman, she make the decision with the help of her guardian, her wali. But she should make that a condition. She should tell her father, look, alhamdulillah, you're going to help me, you're going to assist me, but my main condition is that this, whoever come, and whenever you're going to come and say, look, some nice man or nice young man is asking for your hand, I just want you to, before you even talk to me about that you're already pleased with his religion and character. Not just he's a Muslim or from an Arab country or something, or Muslim country. No, this is a person who he knows his religion and he fears Allah and he's upon taqwa. And he has good akhlaq and good adab. Because that's what the Prophet ﷺ advised. He says, إِذَا أَتَاكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ فَأَنْكِحُوهُ. If a person come and ask for the hands of the women that you're in charge of, if you're pleased with the religion and the character. The religion meaning he practices religion. Not just a Muslim, Friday Muslim. Not just a Friday Muslim. Or just a Ramadan Muslim. Or a Ramadan Muslim. He's a Muslim only on Friday. Muslim only on Ramadan. On Friday he comes Jumu'ah, mashallah. After Saturday he's partying. Sunday never, no salat, no remembrance of Allah. What is this? or only in Ramadan. On Ramadan, mashallah, always in a masjid, Quran, fasting. Once Ramadan is over, everything is over. No. And also the akhlaq. There are certain people now, they come to the masjid, they pray on time, they read Quran, but they have bad manners. Yeah, we've seen many of them. Salafi, Sunni, bad akhlaq. They lie, they cheat, they deception, vulgar, their mouth. Subhanallah, you talk to them or call you all names and so the religion and the akhlaq. Don't just like someone tell you, I'm Salafi, alhamdulillah, I know Sheikh Rabi', Sheikh Ibn Baz, Uthaymeen, Albani, but look at the akhlaq. You ask the Imam about him of the masjid. Idris, you come back. You come back after that, inshallah. Alright? Now, some people now, they Salafis, mashallah, they want Salafiyah, but they have bad akhlaq. You don't want to marry your daughter or whoever you're in charge of for such people. They're going to give her and you a lot of hard time. Someone who has bad temper and have no patience, no akhlaq. Now I want to fight in any time. Can't even have a conversation with. It's very important. The akhlaq are very important. Someone who's not honest, not truthful, is very important. Also, the Prophet ﷺ, he advised the man too to choose the right. How you choose the right woman? The Prophet ﷺ tells us that a woman is usually married for different reasons. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned 4 of them. For wealth. Some men, they're looking for wealth. If the woman have money, mashallah, he wants to marry that woman. Others for their lineage, she's from a noble family, in a community. Others, beauty. And of course, everyone perceives the beauty according to himself. And the deen. Other men, other women that are married for their religion. Prophet ﷺ says, idfar bidati deen. So that's what should be in your mind, Ya Abdullah. If you find a woman that she's religious, she fears Allah, the deen is the most important thing in her life. She always think about the hereafter, the grave, death. She's reminded when the reminder is presented to her. She always turns back to the truth when it's presented to her. This is the woman you want. I know. So here, Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen says, the Prophet ﷺ, this is not some advice from anybody. This is from the Prophet ﷺ. He's the one who ordered and incite the people. As for the man, marry the woman that have the religion. She understand and practice her religion. She loves Allah. She fears Allah. Likewise, when you come to men who are to be accepted for your daughter, for your sister, for the woman that you're in charge of, the one who is religious. Not just someone who took shahada or because he was born in a Muslim country, but he's still running the street, doing whatever he wants to do. The last thing on his mind is the deen of Allah. He just have a Muslim name, that's it. He has to have the deen, and he has to be manifested in his life. His life is around the deen. His akhlaq and his character. So this is what we should take in consideration. The young girls, with the help of your guardian, but you have to remind them, look, I want someone who has religion. Someone who's serious about the hereafter, okay? Someone who knows tawheed and shirk. Someone who's upon sunnah and hate innovations. Someone who adheres to the way of the Salaf al-Salih, the Sahaba, and hate the innovators and the misguided sects. Someone who fear Allah. Someone who, when I tell him, look, قال Allah, he kissed my head and say, Jazakillah khairan, may Allah reward you, Jannat al-Firdaus. Not someone who tell me, none of your business. A woman tell him Allah says, the Prophet says, he'll tell her, instead of thanking her and be nice to her and say, Jazakillah khairan, alhamdulillah, I made the right choice, he's going to tell her, none of your business. A'udhu billah. This is my life. You have nothing to do with it. La. Because the one who's religious and fear Allah and has good akhlaq, he will never oppress that woman. If he's pleased with her, alhamdulillah, he's going to be nice to her and kind to her, and she's going to have good time with him. But if he's not, he's going to even if they have to disperse or have to separate, he's going to be on a good note. No fighting and chaos and like ignorant people do. He says, Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, he says, as opposed to one who's not religious, yes, he has a Muslim name, maybe he grew up in a Muslim country, claim he's Salafi, this and that, but if he's not practicing the deen correctly, he says he's going to give his wife a lot of hard time. Ta'aban kathira. She's going to suffer a lot. And even when she wants to get out of the marriage, he won't. Still give her a hard time. I know. One of the violations also is that some women, they go to extreme in asking for high dowries. I know. Which make the marriage almost sometimes impossible for her to get married. In some societies and communities, they ask for a lot of mahar. The dowry is outrageous. So much so that many young men cannot afford those dowries. So therefore they cannot get married. And that brings a lot of evil, because those girls are not getting married because their guardians are asking for a lot of money as a dowry. And Allah al-Musta'an, they're getting older and older. And now nobody wants to marry them. And those young men, they cannot get married and they stay single, which brings a lot of evil, by the way, wal-'iyadu billah. Shaykh bin Baz, rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, going to extreme in asking for dowry is one of the great means that delays marriage. And therefore expose both male and female amongst the youth to a lot of danger and evil. Because it says when the youth, the teenagers and the youth, they cannot get married, and they want us to get married, but this is the obstacle. You don't have enough money. That brings a lot of evil and problems. Therefore, Shaykh bin Baz says it is important, it's very important to take in consideration this. And he says it's not about what you try, what the people are going to think about you. Because that's what they do. They said, no, my daughter, she has to have the highest dowry. You see what I'm saying? So he can brag that his daughter, the dowry was $20,000. Then the next one, he has to ask for $25,000. The next one, because they are from another family, I don't know, he's high in a society, he want to ask for $100,000. And then his daughter is 37 years old, didn't get married yet. Right now. Another mistake is the wearing of the rings. I know. They call it the l'alliance. The rings, Khatoba, the engagement rings. I know. Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah said this is one of the mistakes that the Muslims should not fall into. When they are engaged, they wear those rings, they call them dibla. And now he is the one who's reading, has her name on. What she's wearing has his name on, you see? And they believe that as long as he has that ring on, he ain't gonna do nothing bad. That's why you find some women, before he go to work, hey, let me see your finger. Oh, you have it, alhamdulillah. Now she feel like, okay, he ain't gonna do nothing bad. Astaghfirullah. The Shaykh said this is no doubt aqeedah fasida. This is a false creed that the people have. This evil imagination have no base in reality whatsoever. He says because there is no connection whatsoever. There is no effects that this rings has on your stability in marriage. This ring doesn't bring harmony in marriage. He said many people who wear these rings, they have no harmony whatsoever. He said at the same time, there are people never wear any rings. They get married, no rings whatsoever. Alhamdulillah, they have a good time together. Why? Because they rely on what Allah legislates for them. The man fulfill his obligations, the woman fulfill hers. If they fall short, they accept the reminder. And they move on. They correct their mistakes and they say they're sorry and they move on. But the Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, he says this, some of the Muslims are falling into the mistake because they blindly imitate the kuffar. Because they're the one that do these things. Gotta wear this ring. Have her name on, his name on it. You see? And if he doesn't have it on, that's a big problem. Why you don't have it on? This and that. Sheikh says he thinks that this is taken from the kuffar. And if it is the case, that's even make it even worse. Because it is forbidden to imitate the kuffar. And the Prophet ﷺ says, "Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhum." Whoever imitates people, he is one of them. Another mistake and violation that some women, and with the help of their families, they insist that their ceremony and walima to be held in fancy places like hotels and the like. And therefore, what takes place in this? A lot of food that is not even eaten and is going to be thrown away. And likewise, they spend a lot of money on these places because those places are not for free. They rent them for money. Though the Shaykh says, so why don't they just do it between them as a family? As a family, they get together and enjoy that. Not along with that is what takes place in those places. Women come dressed not properly, waliyadu billah. And they are not in their homes for them to come dressed like that with makeup and some of their bodies shown in those halls and those places. And they think it's okay, which is not. And keep in mind in our times, there's a big fitna. If anyone, his wife or daughter said, hey, I'm going to this, where is this marriage? Is in the hotel? Ain't no hotel. In this place, ain't going to that place. Especially in our time. Especially if the woman's going to go there, take the ibaya, and she's, subhanallah. Now they filming, the people are taking pictures with the phone. Before you know it, your daughter, wife, mother, she's on Facebook. He says, big fitna, waliyadu billah. Another violation. Some Muslim women, they go to the beauty salons. They go to beauty salons which to remove some hair. They want to look good and nice and beautiful. And they go to the salons and they uncover bodies of their parts of their body that is not permissible for them to uncover in those places. And that lady who's practicing, what they call them, the hairstylist or whatever, the hairstylist, she has no business looking at parts of the woman, not alone in a public place like that right now. Lajna Da'ima now, the member of committee of fatwa, they says لا يجوز للمرأة الخروج من بيتها لتذهب إلى محلات تصفيف الشعر وتزيينه. It's not permissible for a woman to leave her house to go to those hair, what do you call them, hair salons? Beauty salons and hair salons to make her hair. Why? Because there's a lot of fitna that comes with that. And her displaying her beauty and outside her house. Because she can do that in her house. She can do that in her house. Another violation that the mashayikh they warn against is that you find some practice. Some women, they on the walima day or night, whatever, instead of appearing with the proper hijab, they wear some fancy dress. They call it fustan al-zafaf, the wedding dress. He says usually it's white, long, very expensive. He may have some white gloves also and the like. He said this is from the practice of the Christians when they do the marriage in the churches. He said it's not permissible for women to wear such a dress, Muslim women, because that's an imitation of the kafirat. And also, beside the point, it's very expensive and that's waste of money. And beside the point, it is worn one time. That's it. They wear it one time, spend a lot of money on it, wear it one time, and that's it. And also because it involves also riya, showing off, and all of that. He said worse if she cannot even, that dress is so heavy on her, she can't even walk. She needs the help of other people that picking it up. And worse if she's followed by candles, he says, the Shaykh. SubhanAllah. And then they put her on this place that they have flowers and roses around and whatever. And a woman is sitting in front of the people like that. He said this is from the practice of the non-Muslims, that we shouldn't imitate them in that. And of course, another worst evil mistake is that some women, they insist that in their walima, that they have to have music and dancing and all of that. They make it a condition. Somebody gonna come and sing and dance and Nas'Allah. Worst if they have men come and dance and sing for women. And when they have the women, they bring them. When they have the men, they bring them women to sing for them. And this is strictly forbidden. Nas'Allah salam wal afiyah. And also from the things that are not, the women that getting married, they should stay away from. You'll find in sometimes, as Shaykh bin Baz rahimahullah, he says, from the worst of affairs and the evil things that the people have invented and innovated, that they have a stand for both men and women. That you find that the Shaykh bin Baz rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, this one of the violations is that, and the mistakes, Sometimes on the walima day, you will find that they have the groom and the bride. They come in front of the women. Subhanallah. In the women day, when the women, that's their turn to come to the walima, then they have this stand, which is usually decorated and beautified and with roses and pink colors and all, you know that. And then the bride and the groom, they come and sit in front of this. How can a man sit in front of the woman like that? Women not even dressed properly. That bride is not herself, maybe Allahu Alam, dressed properly. And this is also bring nothing but corruption. Bring nothing but corruption. How can a man come in and they display in front of him dozens of women, all from different kind, different countries, different makeup? Now he's going to go to his wife and he's, subhanallah, he has problems from day one. All of these things from the things that should not be done by the Muslims. We'll continue inshallah ta'ala next time. هذا وصلى الله وسلم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Can you clarify what he says on the ruling on wearing wedding engagement rings? The Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala who said that, not me first, and that it is not from the practice of the Muslims that they be wearing engagement rings. I think that was clear. The engagement rings that they will go and she choose one, he choose one. And then he has to wear that and she has to wear that. And if he's not wearing it, that's a problem. This is not from the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. This is something that comes from the practice of the kuffar and should not be done. No.